Hey Stash fam, welcome back to ThunderStash Gaming. Earlier this year at PAX West, I had the chance to play the good old days, and even then I said that this feels like a spiritual successor to the Goonies Famicom game. Now, I've spent plenty of time with the full release on my Switch 2 via backward compatibility. I've got a lot to say about it, so I want to give a huge thank you to Gravity Games for sending me an early review copy. Now, this is a spoiler-free review, and it's one of those games where discovery is half the fun, so I will keep the surprises intact. Grab your map, keep your bombs handy, and let's jump into the good old days. Let's rewind this VHS tape and set the stage for our 80s style adventure. We start in the year 19XX in the quiet town of Arostia, a place that looks like it could have come straight out of a Spielberg movie. You play as Sean, a kid whose day goes completely sideways when a debt collector shows up demanding $30,000 that his father owes. Oh, and to make matters worse, Sean's best friends, the Noogies, have been kidnapped. Instead of despair, Sean sees opportunity. The debt collector, who's more quirky than evil, hands him his first bomb and says, "You'll find your ancestors' fortune buried underground. Go earn it." It's the perfect 80s setup. A kid, a mystery, and a reason to start blowing up walls. This story unfolds with simple but effective charm. The game never over-explains, but through exploration, you start piecing together the bigger picture. You meet some weird NPCs, some shady characters, and there's heartfelt moments, all backed by expressive pixel art that feels alive. From the cozy town streets to the eerie glow of the underground subway, every area looks like a lost snapshot of the 1980s, right down to the color palette. Performance is solid, both docked and handheld play on Switch 2. It just feels like you're playing a retro game. And the pixel lighting effects add subtle atmosphere. Then there's the music. It hits that sweet spot between nostalgia and melancholy with chip-tuned melodies that wouldn't sound out of place on a Famicom cartridge. One of my favorite touches is the somber piano tune that plays during the ending sequence, which I won't get into because, again, we're not going to talk any spoilers here. But there's some real emotion here, the kind that sneaks up on you when a game is crafted with love and memory in mind. Alright, let's flip the tape and blow some stuff up because now it's gameplay time. At its heart, The Good Old Days is a Metroidvania style treasure hunt built around freedom. You need to earn enough money before the day ends, which is a 24-hour cycle, but how you do it is entirely up to you. You can blow open skull-marked doors, which you're going to have to do to get cash and keys, climb vines, bomb tree trunks, or tackle some NPC side quests that reward cash and clues. It's the kind of design that constantly tempts you to try just one more thing. Controls feel tight and deliberate. B jumps, A confirms, Y handles actions, and L and R switches between characters on the fly. The D-pad movement feels true to the era, deliberate, not floaty, and the button layout is intuitive enough. As you rescue friends, the gameplay starts to evolve dramatically. Each Noogie brings a new ability that reshapes how you explore. Foodie, which is basically Chunk, your first companion, can punch through walls and shove crates like a human bulldozer. He's basically the game's Chunk, complete with a sweet tooth and a big heart, and when I say sweet tooth, he even talks about ice cream, so it's hilarious. Later kids add vertical mobility, traversal perks, and more puzzle-solving options that I won't get into, because again, you're going to want to see this for yourself. But you're not just getting new skills, you're gaining new personalities that affect how events unfold. And here's what I love, the game doesn't explain everything. You learn by experimenting. I discovered you can stand on your own bomb for a second or two before it explodes, and by doing so you can reach higher ledges totally by accident. I bombed a tree once and the bark peeled off, revealing hidden cash. So I was like, okay, cool, so that's another way to get money in the game. Moments like that make The Good Old Days feel playful and alive, and actually reminds you of gaming in the good old days, like in the 80s on the NES. The phone booths that I found earlier in the game, they were once mysterious. Eventually, those became fast travel points, which makes backtracking painless once you unlock new areas. And we all know how much backtracking there can be in Metroidvania games, so I appreciate that there is fast travel there. And then there's like fortune tellers. They give vague but meaningful hints that pay off later, like a cryptic Zelda riddle, and we've all seen fortune tellers in games. And that kind of level design really rewards curiosity, and the map system keeps you grounded while still leaving enough blank space to feel mysterious. All right, let's fast forward the clock, literally, because time in this game is money. There's a day-night timer that keeps the story moving. Every time you die, 3 minutes gets added to the clock, pushing you closer to the deadline. You have about one in-game day to earn that 30k before the debt collector returns. Now, I never got to the point where I didn't get the 30k, so I don't know what happens. But this setup creates just the right amount of tension. You feel the pressure to explore efficiently, but it never turns into stress. It's that perfect 80s movie montage feeling where time is running out, but the adventure's too fun to rush. Think Rocky IV. Enemies are smartly placed, traps are tricky but fair, and boss battles are no joke. My first fight against the Fratelli-like gang wrecked me, so I detoured to find some upgrades instead. That's when I stumbled into items like the raincoat, which lets you pass through waterfalls, and the fireproof clothes, which, as you would suspect, lets you pass through fire, and then opens up new sections of the map. The challenge is balanced, tough enough to make you think, forgiving enough to make you try again. Generous save points means failure never feels punishing. Instead, it feels like an invitation to try a different route or character combo. And the pacing between story beats, exploration, and discovery is spot on. You'll always find something new every few minutes. Now, let's pop open the treasure chest and see who this game is really made for. If you grew up on NES and 80s adventure movies, this game is basically made for you. It's the Goonies meets DuckTales meets Zelda with a sprinkle of Bonk's adventure just for fun. And for younger players or newcomers to this style of game, it's a charming entry point, approachable yet rewarding. For $30, you get a full adventure with multiple regions, upgrades, and tons of hidden secrets. And it's not a short game either. Depending on your curiosity, one run can easily stretch several hours, and the replay system practically doubles that. With its pixel-perfect visuals, moody lighting, and tight pacing, this is the kind of indie game that both retro fans and modern gamers can appreciate. Now, let's hit rewind and talk about how this game keeps you coming back for more, which is actually a big deal. So when you finish your first run, you unlock a memory section filled with Polaroid snapshots of each unique ending. There are 31 snapshots that I counted, so I'm presuming there's 31 endings in total. Each one represents a slightly different path through the story, sometimes with new dialogue, sometimes with entirely new events. Almost like a choose-your-own-adventure book back in the day. On my second playthrough, the debt increased to 60k, new dialogue appeared, and my inventory carried over, including all of the keys that I earned. It's a proper New Game Plus system that keeps things exciting without grinding. You'll never unlock everything on one run, and that's by design. It's the kind of game that encourages curiosity, experimentation, and replays between the hidden money treasure chest, alternate routes, and evolving story beats. This one could easily keep you busy for dozens of hours, which again, that's not what I expected. Let's press play on the nostalgia track because this part hits straight in the childhood. The good old days doesn't just borrow from the Goonies, I think it really celebrates it. From Sean's name, as in Sean Astin, to Arostia mirroring Astoria, from the Noogies to the friendship-first story structure, it's clearly inspired by that golden era of adventure. But it does something special. It expands that 80s spirit into a fully fledged Metroidvania, blending heartfelt storytelling, with modern design sensibilities built for replay value. This is the type of indie that could inspire a new wave of games rooted in nostalgia but designed for today's players. It's charming, mysterious, and packed with heart. And honestly, it might just stand as the most genuine tribute to 80s adventure gaming we've seen in a very long time. Alright friends, now it's time for my final thoughts. After multiple playthroughs, I can say, without hesitation, The Good Old Days isn't just a good indie, it's one of the most rewarding surprises of 2025. It captures the magic of discovery, the thrill of exploration, and the warmth of nostalgia all in one package, and at $29.99 for the physical version, it's a fantastic value and an easy Thunderstruck recommendation. Whether you're a longtime Goonies fan or just love Metroidvanias that make you feel like a kid again, this one's worth your time and then some. Now, before we pack up our treasure maps, what do you guys think? Does The Good Old Days look like the Goonies sequel that we've always wanted? Drop your thoughts, theories, and favorite 80s memories down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this review, please make sure to like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. And join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Arizona time for the NintenByte Podcast Live, where we cover all things Nintendo, Switch 2 news, rumors, predictions, and bring on both new and reoccurring guests every week with Nintendo Prime, Game Bird Classic, and Eric Moore. And as always, remember, you're never too old to play video games.